Hello and welcome to Intera Talk, which is your place for snarky true crime.
I love it. I love it.
Snarky, what was it? I had three words: social, snarky. I forgot the third one, but I'm still working on that tagline.
I love it.
Yeah, and I think that's what people enjoy: honesty. We're
Yeah.
not putting on airs. I mean, I try to be somewhat measured, I really do try.
Yeah.
Somebody was kind of threw that back in my face. But that doesn't mean I'm successful all the time. We can just try. I try.
And it depends on the person too. I mean,
Right.
I guess it's alleged and she's a co-conspirator, but it's not. So I feel like we can be snarky to Wendi because she is Wendi, but then unless they're, I'll be snarky to Lori Vallow all at once. Do you know what I mean? But
because she's convicted. Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. But yeah. So it depends on the person. But
right. I mean, and the evidence. So just because she's named and not yet arrested, not yet charged, not yet indicted, whatever route they're going to go.
We still know she's ick.
We know what she tells us from her own mouth.
Yeah.
We're only responding to what she's saying out of her own mouth.
Right.
In what we know. In the contents of what we know and when it happened and right. Yeah. So there you go. I think it's fair game. I wouldn't want to be her. I wouldn't want to be anyone. Okay, if she's guilty or not guilty, but let's say she's guilty, but hasn't been charged and isn't charged because she claims she'll never be arrested, right? I still don't know how well she sleeps at night.
Yeah.
Because there's no there's anything could happen at any time, just like with Charlie. Yeah. They just showed up and arrested him. So I don't know how well. And then if she's not guilty and completely that much of an airhead that she didn't know, given all the things she said she knew about her family and what we have in documents between her and Danny and all that. Dan Markel, of course, is who we're talking about if you haven't figured that out by now. And hello in the comments. Hey, Peppy. Right. Exactly. Pappy brings it home. So, yeah, it's just, let's say she didn't have anything to do with it, but her family did, because obviously Magbanua was dating Charlie, and they've made the police have, and the detectives and the attorneys, state attorney's office have made the connection. So I wouldn't want to be her having missed that either. Right. If you were normal, you'd be racked with guilt. So wouldn't want to be that. Yeah. All right, so let's get rolling. We're going to do more than a 10-minute clump, a 20-minute clump tonight. I think, are we doing 20 minutes? I think it's like 27 minutes, and then we're done. So then we're going to get through this, and then we'll get to the 2020 testimony, and then I can say to mentor lawyer, I'm ready. We're going to do. I just needed to refresh my memory. Yes, and Lily, it's so smart. Too many coincidences. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And hi, everyone in the chat. I will do my best to watch the chat. All right.
Isn't the saying you're either guilty or you're the unluckiest man in the world?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, as Lily says, with all those coincidences, come on.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Happy with Dan Markel's behavior during the divorce.
Can everybody hear?
No, they didn't think he was treating me well.
And is this just Donna Adelson, your mom, or was it both Donna and Hart Adelson?
I'm sure both of my parents felt that way.
Did they ever express those feelings to you?
Yes.
Did they call?
Okay, so this is where we wrapped up last week. So this is Tara Kawas Katie Magbanua's attorney doing the cross exam after the prosecution, who brought Wendi in for questioning on the first trial for Katie Magbanua in 2019. And she's asking Wendi basically how her parents felt about Dan and whether she was aware of it or not. And okay, so can you guys hear the playback of her testimony? Let me know in the comments. It's kind of quiet on my end, so
It is
just
quiet.
Yeah.
All the names?
Yes.
Okay. Did one parent do that more than the other, or it was consistent between the two?
I think it was consistent between the two.
Okay. What kind of names did they call them?
I mean, I've had my memory recently refreshed, so I saw things, but my memory is, I don't remember name calling, but I did recently see emails where they called him names.
So
Now, after the divorce,
so she used that tactic. My memory was recently refreshed.
Yeah.
So which either shows that she is really cold, that she would have forgotten all that about the murdered man, the man that she had nothing to do with this murder. That's cold. Or the other option is, you blocked it out maybe because this is your culpability, this is your motive, perhaps. Yeah. Or maybe you're not telling the truth.
I think the craziest thing to me about all this still is like, no matter how much resentment I have towards my husband, if something were to happen, he is still the father of my children. I chose to have children with that man and raise those children. So Dan isn't just her ex.
Right.
It's the father of her children.
Yes.
Like, they share, those children share half his DNA. Like, it's just bananas to me, like how you could come to hate that person that much.
Right. And he was there when they were conceived and born for all those important moments where they bonded. Yeah. That's interesting you say that, because it just occurred to me. I often hear men, older men say that have been divorced, but she's always going to be in my life because she's the mother of my children.
Yeah.
I don't hear women saying that as much about it. It's kind of interesting that just a little social commentary there. It could be just that I'm not hearing it or whatever, but you hear mother of my children all the time. Do you hear father of my children very often? I'm not excusing her. I'm just saying that.
I never thought of it like that. I'll have to pay attention.
I didn't either. It just popped out of my head. Yes, her. Okay, so Lily says she can hear, but it's annoying. Yes, we gotcha. Then you're hearing it correctly. Hi, down the rabbit holes. She said I had my memory refreshed, and she infers she forgets it again. Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what she did. She's done it more than once in this testimony. We've already seen it. And LOL to Pappy all the time. We love Pappy's humor. Gotta love it. Okay.
of course, you started dating other people, right? When is it that you had your first?
So when she asks, you started dating other people, right? Wendi nods her head very quickly and closes her eyes, which is eye blocking, like there's some shame. Usually that would indicate some kind of she wants to separate herself or not look at that. If you're blocking your eyes, you're saying, I don't want to look at that. Sure. And there has been discussion as to whether she was faithful during the marriage and certainly before the divorce. So, and Tara is saying, yeah, it's only been a month and you're dating. Sorry, mouse problems.
I wouldn't say serious boyfriend, but your first boyfriend after Dan Markel.
Probably within a month.
Okay. When did he, if you know, did he start seeing anybody else after the divorce?
He did, but I don't know when it started.
And is that Amy or was it some other person?
I know about Amy, but I don't know if there were other people before Amy.
Did you know what, at the time of the murder, do you know what, if any, future plans Dan Markel had?
I couldn't really say about his future plans, but I felt like by then he and Amy were pretty serious and he was trying to spend as much time in New York as possible.
Bingo. Bingo.
What?
She was saying that at this point in time, when Dan Markel was murdered, she felt that he was going to be spending as much time in New York as possible. So the whole custody thing and
Sure.
the location situation was already at a heated
Yep.
fight, and now this.
Sure.
So
Do you know if his intention was to, and it's only if you know, it was his intention to remain in Tallahassee, or do you know if he was planning to leave the state?
I think he always planned on leaving Tallahassee. It was just a question of when.
Okay.
Interesting.
true or not true?
Yeah.
He always planned on leaving Tallahassee because during her marriage, she said, though, we're not leaving Tallahassee.
Yeah.
So which is it?
Do you know why? Did he have an aversion to Tallahassee, or
No,
just...
it wasn't an aversion to Tallahassee. He was a very ambitious person. And so from the moment we arrived in Tallahassee, he was always looking for a stepping stone toward a better university where he could teach.
And he took a very...
I don't know. To me, that seemed like a little bit of her opportunity to throw a little side punch at Tallahassee's university.
1,000%. So that's exactly what I thought too.
Okay,
a little
good.
better university, just a stepping stone.
Yeah, well, FSU Law School is nothing to sneeze at, as my granny would say. Okay, Helen says she's trying to throw that out to make her move look okay. That's right.
That's true too. Yeah.
Yep. And Helen also says he wanted to have a home and a suburban life. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
special interest in what he did, which is he's a law professor, right? He graduated from Harvard and he studied criminal law.
Right, that was his specialty.
Okay. And did there come a time
So
when
ironic.
you were dating someone by the name of Jeffrey Lacasse?
Yes,
You know who that is?
I do.
Do you remember when you started dating Jeffrey Lacasse?
I don't remember exactly, but 2013.
Okay. Do you remember how long you dated him for?
I remember it was less than a year, but probably more than 6 months.
Were you dating him at the time leading up to the homicide, which would be July 18th, 2014?
We broke up a few weeks before Danny was killed, or a week or so. We broke up before Danny was killed.
How would you describe your relationship with Jeffrey Lacasse?
I mean, I think it took different turns. I think it was more casual in the beginning, and then it was getting more serious. And then I was feeling more committed to the relationship. And then in late June, we had this big fight. And after that point, I didn't really want to be with him anymore.
Do you know what the fight was about? Do you
I do.
remember?
I remember what the fight was about.
What was it about?
Pause.
He didn't trust me.
Of course, she remembers what the fight was about. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, isn't it fascinating that she remembers all these details about, Jeffrey Lacasse and the breaking up and how traumatic that was on her, but she doesn't remember divorce information, which should have been doubly as traumatic to her.
Interesting
Yeah.
point. Yeah. What a supposition.
Like that's instant. Like maybe because we all know Jeffrey was part of her original plan and it didn't, I guess we don't know, but based on what we have heard and seen, we can assume that he was going to try and set him up. It seems like, allegedly, so of course she remembers all of that information, but
right.
she can't remember the name calling of her ex-dead husband, father of her children.
She always seems to remember the super negative things that make her look to be the victim too.
True.
Classic.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember
Very true.
that.
Yeah. He didn't trust me. I'm the victim.
Mm-hmm.
True. Okay.
In terms of
He
seeing
thought
other people?
he thought I was cheating on him.
Okay. And you said
And I think in the end, it came out that she was cheating
I would
on
say,
him.
well, were you, Wendy?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was.
I wish Tara would have asked that question. Well, were you?
Right? Why not? Probably would have been allowed.
Sustained.
I'm not wondering. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it would. Maybe because it's going to her. It's going to the
Character.
context in the yeah. Okay, and Pappy says Jeffrey Koss. I hope I don't regret reading this out loud before I look at it. Jeffrey Lacoste better write a book and devote at least a chapter to bedroom story.
Ugh. Ugh.
Blah. Okay, Pappy. We won't be interested in that. Ugh.
No.
Yeah. Pappy.
Not with Wendy. Ugh.
when was that?
We broke up. It would have been one of the last weekends in June.
So fairly close to when the homicide occurred.
Right.
Now that
Okay, so there was a right, slow blink, double blink while she's nodding yes. In other words, hell yeah, it was close to when he was killed because there obviously was a reason for that. There was a reason for the
Wasn't
question.
it within days?
Mhm.
Okay. Like,
Yeah, of her
okay.
seeing Jeffrey kind of playing him along, like maybe we'll get back together, maybe we won't. And then everything's great. And then he gets this no contact order, formal email, and then Dan's killed. And then the whole thing about, are you going to be here Friday?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is why she's asking this question. It's very important. And of course, as Kawas is Magbanua's attorney, she would want to
Reasonable doubt.
give the jury an opportunity to see if maybe it was Wendi, not Magbanua, who was the conduit to Charle, which is, did they even need Magbanua?
Right.
spring break, which would have been the month of March,
Mm-hmm.
didn't you and Jeffrey Lacoste come down to Miami?
We did.
Okay. And you stayed with your brother, Charlie?
We did.
Okay. And do you know at that time who he was dating?
I don't.
Okay. Does it sound, if I say that was when he was dating Katherine Magbanua, is that a correct statement or you don't remember?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you
Twice with the scrunchy nose. I don't.
Like, I'm rolling my eyes at her because, yes, she does.
Yes, I don't. With the scrunchy nose, I don't. I don't remember. It's obviously that she does.
Her lie. That's her tell.
It's a tell.
remember having dinner with Jeffrey Lacoste at a restaurant and with your brother and that Katherine Magbanua was there?
I have a vague recollection of it.
Okay.
Oh, congratulations.
Do you remember if this restaurant
Oh, pause.
She remembered something.
Oh, shit. You just caught me in a lie. Oh, damn it. You brought that up. I guess I do remember that.
Right. I guess I do. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
outside seating?
We always used to go to the same restaurant, and so I know the restaurant, it has outside seating.
And
Okay. And so there's another way to sort of distance herself from this dinner with Katherine by saying, well, we always went to the same restaurant. She just happened to be here with him as his date that one time.
Sure.
So that's how she's trying to soften it. These little subtle, and I'm pretty sure they didn't always go to the same restaurant. Come on, who does that?
when you met Katherine Magbanua, Charlie introduced you to her as his girlfriend.
Probably.
Okay.
Definitely as someone that he was seeing, right? I don't remember if he used the term girlfriend, but in a romantic kind of way.
Okay.
Not as
Okay.
Word vomit.
Am I characterizing Mr. Charlie Adelson correctly when I say, you had said he has lots of girlfriends?
I've met lots of girls over the years, which is why it's hard to remember whether I had dinner with one person versus another.
Do you know what his thoughts and beliefs are in marriage? Does he not believe in marriage?
I don't think he's so pro-marriage, no.
Do you know how many times you met Katie? We talked about the time.
That face she makes, I haven't quite been able to isolate when she's making that face, but she just made that I'm trying to smile face. Did you catch it when she was saying, that whether he was pro-marriage or not? I don't know. It's a little, I kind of remember last week. Yeah.
I can't see her face right now because the comment is covering it.
Oh, sorry. Why are the comments so large? Okay. Hi, society. Okay. Hi, SC. Who's SC? Helen. Oh, hi, SP. We're all great tonight, society. How are you? Okay. I will take the comments down. I'll pause next time so you can see her face.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that
time on the beach.
Fake smile.
We've already now talked about dinner.
I remember vaguely those two. I don't remember any other time.
Do you remember the name of the person that was in that picture with you?
No.
Okay. Does Yindra Velasquez Mascaro sound familiar?
No.
Now,
how do you forget a name like that?
Yeah, and it was kind of snobby too. Like if you were her, you'd be like, yeah, well, I don't remember you either. Like it was kind of, I don't remember.
You're not important to me. Of course I don't remember you.
Right.
Relationship.
We just needed you for some criming.
Yeah.
With Katie, right?
No.
Okay. Did you know that Katie has 2 kids?
I did.
Remember this was, we're not going to get it first name.
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge. I apologize. Did you know that Miss Magbanua had children?
I did know that.
Okay. Did you ever discuss with Miss Magbanua the details of the divorce that you had before she even knew who your brother was?
That wouldn't be possible because I only met her with my brother.
Okay. So you didn't talk, your relationship wasn't a close relationship where you would talk to her about Dan Markel?
No.
Do you ever remember having a conversation with Miss Magbanua about Dan Markel and your divorce?
It's very possible that I brought it up, but
didn't she tell everybody about her divorce?
Right, and she definitely remembers details about this chick she only met twice, right? That seems so insignificant. She remembers she has 2 children.
Right.
And this chick who happens to have given a proffer earlier this year. So look at her face. Like, there it is. There it is.
That is a face.
That is a face of, I'm really trying to convince you that I don't know anything about this. Yeah. Friday night. TGIF, everyone. Yay. I thought it was Saturday all day. I'm so mixed up.
Nothing stands out.
No, not at all.
Now, I want to talk to you about the time of the murder, okay? The day before the homicide, all right?
Okay.
You had talked about your custody situation with Dan Markel, that it was a week on, week off. Is that correct?
That's right.
And an overnight stay switch on a Wednesday.
That's my best memory.
So a better way to describe it would be, if it's your week, you have the boys, but on Wednesday night they will sleep at Dan Markel, do an overnight sleepover at Dan Markel.
Right.
And then return them to you the next day.
Or return them to school. And
then you pick them up in the evening.
Right.
So the day of the homicide, do you remember what day of the week that was?
I believe it was Friday.
Okay. So the day before would have been a Thursday.
Right.
Okay. Do you remember what you were doing that day?
I don't.
Is there any way that you would have been walking down Trescott Drive with your 2 sons the day before his murder?
No. I don't live in walking distance, so there's no reason why I would have been walking down the street. No.
You and Mr. Markel weren't on that kind of talking.
Okay. She didn't just say no. She added in, I don't live in walking distance, so there would be no reason for me to be walking down that street. Right? I mean, if somebody's asking you, especially law enforcement or, why you'd be just like, yeah, I was walking, or no, I wasn't.
No.
Right.
Right. There's no reason to add in the extra.
Yeah, no, we didn't take our walk there.
But didn't we also just confirm that it wasn't her week? She wouldn't have had the boys, so why would she be walking with them on a Thursday?
Well, the reason Tara Kawas is asking this is because of testimony from Luis Rivera.
That they were walking there on a
That-
Thursday night?
Yeah, that they saw the lady the night before. And then they immediately got a phone call saying, what are you doing there? What are you doing? You know, because they were scoping the place out, something along those lines.
Sure. But why would she have been with them on a Thursday when it was obviously Dan's week to have them?
Well, things happen.
Okay.
I don't know that she did. I'm not saying she did.
Right.
But that's why I'm just
That's why
answering.
Tara's
I
asking.
should ask
Okay.
the question. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. Okay.
Or speaking terms where you would be at the Trescott home and he wasn't there.
No,
You wouldn't go and take the boys for a walk on Trescott Drive.
I don't think so, no.
But there is a lot of her extra faces there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And though I don't think so, like you
Uh-huh.
just said, I don't live within walking distance, so no, I wouldn't walk there. Like, what's the I don't think so? Why don't you just say no?
and it's not like she lives a billion miles away. It's like a 20-minute drive, and they're used to that area, and there's a park and all that. So you never know. They could have had an activity
It
with
could have been
other
in a park
friends,
or sure.
neighborhood friends, a meetup, a kid date
Yep.
type of thing. Yeah. So there was a lot of extra on that last question.
Yeah.
And as far as you knew at that time, the kids, what school were they attending?
They went to creative preschool.
Okay, and when you would drop the kids off at creative preschool, do you have to sign them in?
You do have to sign them in.
Okay, and then, so there should be a record of the days that the boys would have been at the preschool.
That's right.
What time would you drop the boys off? Do you remember?
I
Is it an early morning thing or?
I would drop them off in the morning. I don't remember, maybe it was 8, maybe it was 9.
Oh, but nothing late, like 11.
I don't think so.
And then what would be the usual time you pick them up in the afternoon?
I think it would depend on whether I was teaching or if I had court, what I was up to, but my guess is sometime between 3 and 6, I would pick them up.
So would it be fair to say that, you know, around 11 o'clock in the morning, the boys would probably be in school on a weekday?
That would be right.
Do you know someone by the name of Whitney?
I do know Whitney.
Who is Whitney?
Whitney was a girlfriend of my brother's.
Do you know who introduced Charlie to Mr. Adelson to Whitney?
I don't.
Do you know how long they were dating?
I don't.
Do you remember when they started dating?
I don't remember when they started dating.
Okay. When did your brother buy you that TV?
I remember having the TV in the house on Aqua Ridge. So sometime after the fall of 2012. And then sometime between 2012, 2013, something like that.
Do you remember making a phone call to Charlie that morning and having a conversation with him without going into the details of that conversation?
Which morning?
The morning of Dan's murder.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Judge. Mr. Markel's murder. Do you remember how long you spoke for?
I don't remember how long I spoke for.
Pause.
Now, you had described your brother.
What's with the Whitney questions? Who is Whitney? Do you know?
I don't remember why she asked about Whitney, but what I did notice is she certainly was very with the details about Whitney, forthcoming. And Whitney's not the mother of his child, so I can't remember why. I can't remember. Maybe the chat can help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
As a talker, is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think I described him as more of a joker than a talker, but he does talk.
Do you remember the circumstances under which he made that statement that the state talked about hiring a hitman, but instead I got you this TV? Who else was around when this statement was made?
Well, he tends to repeat himself, so he kept repeating that joke because he thought it was funny.
Okay, but do you remember?
'Cause
the
we're so
time
classy.
when that happened? Like, was this?
Yeah. Well, that's a great way of distancing too. He tends to repeat himself. Like that's one step of distancing, and then it goes on. So he tends to repeat himself.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't like people saying that to me about me publicly, especially if I helped in such a large way. Oops.
No.
Way before,
Come on.
during the course of your divorce, or was this after?
It would have been when he bought the TV.
When he bought the TV, and that would be after the divorce.
Well, not after I filed for divorce, right? But not after the divorce was finalized. So sometime after, I really don't remember when I got the TV, but maybe sometime starting with the fall of 2012, sometime around then, but it could have been 2013.
Do you know, now your parents' apartment on South Beach, are they still living there?
No.
So they moved.
Okay, so just to clarify, for those who don't do this as a custom, Charles Adelson bought through Wendi a television as a divorce present in 2012. Sorry, I didn't. So he bought her the TV. He bought her the TV as a divorce present in 2012. She remembers all those dates and times, no problem. I mean, then the TV gets broken, and then it's also used as a joke, possibly code between the family members about paying for the TV or paying for a new TV because it was broken, which is why I always say, who broke the TV?
Right.
Who really broke the TV? I'm glad you're good, Society Page, and no one talks about a TV this much. It's so absurd. Thank you. Yeah. People. I've never spoken about a television with anyone in my family. Never.
I did.
At the time, do you know how much their rent was in that apartment?
I have no idea.
You said they did not own that property?
No.
Okay. And now you said that you stayed in Tallahassee after the homicide.
I stayed for a few days.
Okay. And do you recall if Detective Isom tried to call you?
After I had left?
It's interesting Tara said it that way because remember when Georgia asked, did you stay?
Yes.
She's like, oh, I didn't really leave. She did. She never came back.
Right.
Because George was like, but you never came back.
She didn't move permanently.
Right.
It's not permanent, Dawn.
But now when she's with Tara, it's like, yeah, I stayed a couple days.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a few days.
Yeah.
A few days. Okay, this is just my rule, but a few means 3 or more.
Yes.
A couple
is 2.
2. Yeah.
Yep. Same.
Okay.
Before you left Tallahassee, but after the memorial service for Mr. Markel?
He did not call me before I left Tallahassee. No.
Did he try to call you?
He called me when I was already on the road.
Okay.
About 4 hours away from Tallahassee.
Did he ever try to talk to you again?
No.
False.
So this is Isom, very, 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 like for someone who is so bereaved and stressed and worried about her children and her own safety. She remembers those details.
Yes.
He
Which
called,
are false, I'm sure.
Yeah, he called the next day.
But I was already 4 hours away.
But I was already gone.
So she remembers, like you said, those details.
Prosecution?
Doesn't look good, Wendy.
When is the first time the prosecution reached out to you to speak to you about what happened?
I don't remember ever talking with the prosecution.
Let's go sidebar.
Sidebar.
I have to throw something away. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Proceed, Your Honor? Okay. Do you know if Detective Adelson ever tried to reach out to your parents?
I don't think he did.
Do you know if Detective Adelson ever tried to speak to your brother Charle?
I don't think he did.
So Tara just asked whether Isom tried to speak to her parents or to
Yeah.
Charlie.
Did he?
Now, you are testifying today under a state subpoena, correct?
Correct.
And that state subpoena gives you immunity for your testimony, right?
Yes.
Can you explain to the jury, since you're an attorney, what immunity is?
Immunity.
Did you see that little smile crack? Since you're an attorney, the little half of a duper there. She's so proud of that, which, you know, that's fine.
From prosecution.
So that means that anything you say today can't be used against you if the state decides to arrest you later on.
The state isn't going to decide to arrest me.
This one. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it's there.
Oh.
It's just in her mouth, though. It's like not in her eyes. It's weird.
Oh my God. The state's not going to arrest me. Okay. Katie needs a shower from too much Wendi.
Are you saying I'm stinky?
Or maybe
a fresh beer too.
Or maybe a fresh beer. Yes.
I'm in my husband's. I'm in my husband's shop, and there was a tube of caulk, you know. So I and it was on my feet, so I've been rolling my feet on it the whole time because I have ADHD and got to move. And I popped the bottom out of it.
Oh no!
So I have a caulk mess that was like coming out of the bottom. So I'm like, crap! I got to throw this away before I keep messing with it and make a bigger mess.
Before you cock yourself to the ground.
Yeah,
Help me.
yeah, that's my life. Sorry, that's why I had to throw that away quick, or I was going to make a really big mess. Sorry.
And crack a new beer. What you drinking?
Today I got a White Claw.
White Claw. Okay, the society page says her selective memory is laughable. Does she really think she's credible? I think she does think she's credible. We don't.
So, no, and you and I think talked about this off air a couple weeks ago, where Jay, streaming of Jay, that's really funny. He did this for a little bit, this trial, but he did Luis's testimony, and I remember watching that, and I remember at the end of that, and then he went to this Wendi testimony. I don't know what year it was or which one, but I remember believing Luis so much more than Wendi.
Yes,
and he's a freaking drug lord for I don't know, the Crips, the Bloods. I don't know.
The Latin Kings, the Latin Kings.
Latin Kings.
I really love Luis. I really do.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe him so much more than I believe Wendy's story. Like, it's crazy because you would think you would believe a suburban mom, but I do not trust Wendi one bit.
Interesting perspective. Yeah. And Pappy with the bringing the laugh, so I love it. Jeffrey Lacoste said Wendi can never get enough cock.
Do you know if they consider you a suspect?
I don't know.
At this point, was she named a co-conspirator?
No, this was 2019.
She was not named. Okay.
I don't believe she had been yet. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, please, because I don't mind being corrected. I really don't. I'm not here to say I know everything more than my memory is like goofy.
Yeah.
And I'm officially elderly this week. I was told on some paperwork. It's like, are you disabled or are you elderly? In parentheses, 62 years old or over. And I was like,
oh, no.
Well, it's okay.
I thought it was 65.
I know. Or 70.
Gross.
Okay. Society Page says Rivera is telling the truth on the stand. It's chilling when he says he doesn't think about any of this in his cell. Yeah, it is. I think it has to do with the medications he's on for his mental illnesses. So, because, and the reason I say that is it does seem like, and in Society Page, I have some really short videos, like 2-minute type videos. I have a section from Luis's proffer, and which is really chilling and resonating in so many ways. I don't think
the amount of cocaine. Ugh.
Yeah, and alcohol.
Yeah.
So that's Luis, not Sigfredo. Now Sigfredo is a whole different animal. You know, because if you're part of a gang, you have certain codes of, you know, hierarchy and certain codes of ethics that they was such that they are and all that. But I find Sigfredo more scary because he was willing to do this. He literally took a gun and shot someone in the face for money. He didn't know, he didn't ask, he just and then he went out and bought like these stupid cars and stuff. Like, what? It's so shallow. Anyone who's that shallow. And my understanding with Sigfredo is that he was drunk all the time, and you all can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. But it made him numb, right? And I would be more concerned about somebody who's totally numb. I never got the impression that Luis was numb.
Right.
Now, the fact that he might not think about this while he's in the cell, that's not necessarily because he's numb. It might because he's in survival mode and because he's on medication and, you know, things like that. So, I mean, I only heard one person between all of the people so far, between Wendi, she's had many opportunities, Charles, mom and dad, they've put out public statements, and then Magbanua and Rivera and Garcia. There's been only one person who has shown any form of remorse, and that's Luis Rivera.
Yeah. I like Luis.
I know. Yeah. But sure, it's scary too, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for Luis, it was like, it's what he grew up in. It's what he knew. It's the only thing he knew. And so for him, it was like his job. Like, you know, my husband does heating and air conditioning because that's what his dad did. And that's what he grew up in. He knows. And that's the same for Luis. It on a very different level, but that's the same for Luis. And so I don't know. I felt like, I don't know. For him, I just really, I appreciated him. Like I
did
too.
Didn't
do it out of violence. He didn't do it out of narcissism. He didn't do it out of, which make bad or good, you know, but I don't know.
Well, and he even said, why are we doing this? What are we doing here? Yeah. He was the only one who ever said, wait a minute, wait, you know?
On all that cocaine and alcohol, he still said, what are we doing? I know.
Right. I think he's got wisdom. I mean, it's just a shame. And so the Society Page says Donna is the scariest of all. It's interesting. Mom.
Because that's the narcissism, and that's like and that's what she's teaching her children, and her children are following in their sort of footsteps, and I'm sorry, but I'm sure those boys are probably following in that footstep too, because it's all they know, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Yeah.
Oh, the Markel boys, Danny's sons. I have hope for them, though. I do. Yeah. I have to. I mean, if Ruth
could get a hold of them, or if somebody someday could show them the truth, you know, but And maybe they are seeing the truth because they're 15 and 13, and they're seeing
they're
their
gonna
uncle.
learn. Yeah.
I mean, their mom can't keep them silent to all of this. So, I mean, they can Google whatever they want, So hopefully.
Yeah. As they get older, they're going to hear that there are other sides to the coin for sure. Yeah. And I hope that doesn't devastate them. I hope that empowers them and protects them. Yeah.
Yes.
Because Down the Rabbit Hole says Luis has a dating page. He says in so many ways he wants someone that believes in change. Wow. Yeah. And it is despicable that after all these years, the wealthy ones still haven't been convicted, and the ones who needed money, because the Adelsons, according to the theory right here of the state of Florida, they preyed on people who needed money, who lacked.
Yeah.
Right. And that's pretty despicable too. And Society Page says, honestly, they should have just robbed Donna and Charlie. Dan would be alive. Right.
Yeah.
And we talked about that last week because I think Luis said, why don't we just rob her? Meaning Wendi.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we just rob her if she's got all this money? So, and he knew the money was coming from her.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
And Pappy says, I saw Luis dating Paige and he looks amazing in pumps and a summer dress. That young man is kind of, what is he, like 5'6"? He's kind of like that short, stocky kind of build.
He's like,
I can't imagine
classic. Oh, he is a classic bad boy. I happen to think he's attractive. Isn't that funny?
I don't know. I mean, I've really grown to appreciate him. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. And I love his voice on those little clips that I did on my page. It's just so deep and real, which you don't get from a lot of people.
No. And I remember one of the defense attorneys tried to come after him during his testimony, and he shut it down. He's like, look, I am the king of the Latin kings. You are not going to mess with me. I am who I am. You can stop talking.
Well, if we finish this, and we will, in plenty of time before Charlie's trial, we could do Luis's testimony. That would be fun. That would be like
fun.
A breath of fresh air compared to this.
Yes, because he's just believable.
Yeah, and Society Page says, I can't believe anyone wants to date after Jeff Lacasse experience, and that would be Miss Wendi Adelson after, first of all, a dead ex-husband, and then what happened with Jeff Lacasse. Whew! That's a good point. That's a good point. Talk about red flags. Red flags, baby.
She's got all of them.
Oh my God.
So who's Wendi dating?
Well, I don't know now, but she was dating someone for a while.
Have you received any money from the life insurance policy from Mr. Markel?
I don't know if maybe in the beginning, the life insurance that Danny owed me about $100,000 when he died. I do think.
Okay.
Back to throwing him under the bus, for one. And for two,
how do you
say? Yeah. How do you say, I don't know? Girl, you know what money you received.
Right.
Stop it.
I mean, you're obsessing over whether to repair or replace a television, and you have to talk to your entire family about it. Come on.
Yes, you know what money you
so
want.
Implausible. Don't believe it.
Yes. This is what I mean. She's so unbelievable. Like, to a normal female, you are full of lies. Like,
I think that his family made that disbursement. I don't know if they paid that through the life insurance policy, but
extra. She's still talking. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's just like all the extra. So it means she's covering. something up. Something's not right here.
But other than that, there's been
With the no extra.
the life insurance policy is money put away for the kids. I've never seen it.
Oh, it's for the kids.
For
and I've
the
never
kids.
seen- So there is
yes,
a life.
you did
in other
get
words,
money
there
from the life
is
insurance.
Okay,
You
we're there.
did get it, Wendi.
Got you there, Wendy. We got you there. We're with you.
For
Do
the
have access to that,
kids.
Or you have no control over
I
that?
have no control over that.
Who does
Sure.
then?
Sure.
I have-
Like, hold
Where
up.
did you say-
It's
so
okay. So the money, even if it's in a trust, somebody has to have access to that money for the kids.
Actually, I do
She's
believe
raising the kids.
she wanted control over it, but it's actually Dan's sister. And I don't know if he had the foresight or what. but
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She
All right,
had it.
That's interesting.
She had it, and then she didn't.
Okay.
One of those. It's like,
Gone.
Yeah.
And how much
But it-
was it? Do you
but it
know?
wasn't about the money. I forgot it was considerable.
I mean, probably 250 at least.
Your boys.
I
are
think they
now
had $1
down
million
in
for the
Miami
boys.
with Your mother, correct?
At the moment, yes.
And you stopped letting Danny's parent or Mr. Markel's parents see the boys, is that correct?
2 years after Danny died, I stopped visitation.
Okay, do you have any intention of letting them see their grandchildren again?
I do. We've actually been in discussion the last few weeks.
How convenient the last 3 weeks.
Interesting that it's happened now. Because did they get to see the boys?
There, 2 million. It was not 1 million. It was 2. It was 1 million per boy.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
and
a
the
lot of money.
sister-
Sorry.
Yeah,
didn't mean to cuss.
thankfully, thankfully, Dan's sister has
Yeah.
whatever word is for that. Okay,
So
thank
does
you,
Wendi-
Helen.
So, like, let's say that the boys need a car, right? So then does Wendi have to contact Dan's sister and say, I need X amount of money? Because that's fascinating if that's the case. Or I wonder if they get like a set monthly
I
amount
wanna
from
bel- I
that
think-
trust.
I might be wrong, but I want to believe that when they each turn 18, so they're ready to go college and whatnot, and that's when the funds become available to them.
Okay.
Now, if she needed to dip in, I would guess, yeah, she would have to go through the sister, but that's not going to happen.
Right. Right.
Because she's not being very nice to the Markels.
No.
I'd be surprised. I mean, come on. They have the money.
Right.
They don't need
Okay,
to be
so-
dipping into the boys. Yeah.
One more quick question. I don't know if this is nationwide or like in the state of South Dakota. My husband, his dad passed away when he was very young. So my mother-in-law got money from the state for each boy until they turned 18. Plus she got money for herself because he had passed
Survivor
away.
benefits. Yes.
Okay, so does Wendi get survivor benefits
Yes, she
from Dan
does.
Markel even though they were divorced?
The boys get it.
Okay.
I don't know the answer for sure. She might be. I think she gets it because she's the caregiver.
Okay.
If she's the caregiver, I believe.
And that's
I could be
usually
wrong. I could be
based
wrong.
on the amount of money the
They
person who
made.
passed away made. So she,
Right.
okay. So
Right.
she doesn't have to work.
But
I
there
mean,
is a
she-
cap. There's a cap. So they're getting
Okay.
the top end of that cap. Right.
Okay.
So she's getting that money that she
Yes.
wouldn't have had gotten if it weren't for this terrible.
I mean, I know it wasn't about finances, but part of it probably was.
Oh,
Okay.
everything's about finances in this case,
Yeah.
I think. And Helen Stewart says it comes to about $4,000 a month.
Okay.
And Down the Rabbit Hole says, poor Jeff, that stuff is real for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Great records.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yep. So that's what
Okay.
she said, 2 million, one each. Yep, that refreshes my memory. It refreshes my memory. But not for nefarious reasons, just because I'm a dumbbell. I have a lot of things on my mind. I forget things. But yeah, that sounds right.
Crazy. Wow.
Yep, and it's real stuff. It's real stuff. Social Security. It's called survivor benefits from Social Security, but that's
Okay.
above and beyond or apart from the life insurance policies.
And I didn't know if it would be different because she is a co-conspirator, and she's technically divorced if she still got money for that. So,
Well, the co-conspirator, unless she's charged, probably wouldn't have an impact. If she were charged, indicted, it might change that, where the avenue where that fund went, those two funds went. Yeah, not sure.
all right.
Pappy. So I can't even pronounce that. I was thinking of business when he said that. That Taylor.
Oh, I forgot about her.
Oh, my
Oh
God.
man.
There was another Green Bay crime. I was going to send you a link. I need to send
Ooh.
that to you. It was a couple days ago. I've already forgotten.
Stay out of the drugs in Green Bay.
Redirect.
Redirect. 13 minutes, guys.
How many times have Dan's parents
You get the
been
jury
able to see
questions.
your boys in the last 5 years?
Yeah.
In the last 2 years after they died, they've been able to see them every time they've asked to see them.
Okay, what about
Ah! I'm sorry. Did I just break your eardrums?
A little. That's a lie, Wendy. Ugh.
Look at her face when she lies. Sorry, I gotta go back.
have Dan's parents been able to see your boys in the last?
I'm gonna go slow-mo. I want to pick this up. What the hell? Who can lie like that? I know people who lie. They do a really bad job of it. Okay, here we go. Slow-mo. I'll try not to scream.
5 years.
Slow blink.
Eye roll.
Up to the right.
In the last 2 years after they died, they've been able to see them every time they
See the
Turn-
shaking of the head?
Well, not just shaking, but turning her head away. She's like turning and then looking back.
Yeah.
Looking back.
That is crazy.
Okay, what about
Closes her big ass mouth lips and does
Stares
the stare.
directly like the
Does the stare. Yep. This is what a lie looks like sometimes.
yeah.
Sometimes.
Wow.
3 years?
But you can see the tension in her eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She's like,
Even with her Botox.
well, even with I don't know if she has Botox here, but even with the fabrication that she's spewing.
Yeah. And her mouth is set so grim. Like those lines are so
2016, they've been not been permitted to see the boys.
So she's shaking her head no. But Georgia is asking, have they been able to see the boys? She said they can whenever they want, but now
Yeah.
she's shaking her head no
yeah.
and trying to, I don't know what she's saying.
They've not been permitted.
That's right.
By you.
By me. Yes.
Right. And
So they've not been permitted by you. She says, right, yes.
that's not through lack of trying on their part.
This is horrible. It's not
This is
through
so
lack
creepy.
of trying on their part. I know, but I have to
Yeah.
see it,
I know.
what she's doing. Oh, mouth. Blink.
No, that's because of what they did.
They didn't do anything, Wendy.
Right. No, that's because of what they did. Oh my God. Makes
Blame
me
it on always. I'm always the victim. Blame it on somebody else. It has nothing to do with me. It's what they did, not me.
I I get really protective of the Markels here.
I know. I know.
So wrong. All right, let's.
Can you rewind it like 30 seconds just to see it in real time?
Okay. So we are
You stopped letting Danny's parent or Mr. Markel's parents see the boys. Is that correct?
2 years after Danny died, I stopped visitation.
Okay. Do you have any intention of letting them see their grandchildren again?
I do. We've actually been in discussion the last few weeks.
No further questions.
convenient.
Redirect.
Mm-hmm.
How many times did they see him in that 2 years?
How many times have Dan's parents been able to see your boys in the last 5 years?
In the last 2 years after they died, they've been able to see them every time they've asked to see them.
Okay, what about the last 3 years?
Since 2016, they have not been permitted to see the boys.
They have not been permitted
That's right.
by you.
By me, yes.
Right, and that's not through lack of trying on their part.
No, that's because of what they did.
Okay, but they want to see those boys, don't
They
they?
very much want to see the boys.
All right. And Dan Markel's sister is the, I'm not sure if it's the right word, but the executor of that trust for the boys. Is that right?
I think she has fiduciary responsibility over the trust for the
All
boys.
right, thank you. That sounds
Pause.
right. Did you,
Gotta be the smartest in the room. Instead
Well, by
of
the
saying,
way-
yeah, she has control.
Right.
She
And
has
she said,
fiduciary.
yeah, she said, for lack of a better word, and she is the executive, which is the word I was trying to come up with earlier. But by the way, Georgia Kaplan, fantastic attorney. Hey, guess what? Dan Markel's sister, also a fantastic attorney. So these are all attorneys we're talking about here. Jeez. So let it go, Wendi. But she can't.
No,
Why?
she's the smartest.
Because she's guilt. She feels guilty. She's trying to make it about that as opposed to, yeah, I'm not letting my kids see their grandparents because we just wiped Dan off the face of the earth.
one time hold that position in Dan's will?
Oh, before we got divorced, I probably did.
Okay, but sometime after the divorce, he changed that over to the sister.
He must have, yes.
Okay. And did you initiate proceedings to try to fight that decision that he made to make the sister the executor or the beneficiary, have the fiduciary duty for this money over you, through the disbursement to your children?
Can you repeat can you
Okay,
rephrase the
so
question?
did you initiate any type of proceeding at any point to try to contest or fight Dan Markel's sister being appointed as this fiduciary for the life insurance for the boys?
I don't believe that I did.
You did not.
I don't remember doing that, no.
No further questions.
I need your other question of this question. If you do, right, Dan, we'll go sidebar.
Look at how tense she is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can see it in her mouth set, like on the profile. She
Yes.
is like nervous about what they're going to ask her.
She looks to me like a combatant ready for war.
Okay.
With all that tension.
Yeah, the tense.
Yeah.
Tense.
Yeah. For sure. Who is Shampimple? Shampimple, I don't know who Shampimple is.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what I missed. Wendy's emoji. Yeah, Pinocchio.
Ms. Adelson, I don't remember what
She does have a schnauzer on her.
Oh my God, that nose.
It's there. I want to know if she's had a nose job.
You said your
That's one of the
memory
nose
had
jobs.
been refreshed about something. What did you mean by that?
So over 5 years have passed since Danny died. And I'm
Speak to
sorry,
them.
sorry. So more than 5 years have passed since Danny died, and a lot of the things that we're talking about today, I just don't remember at all. And so to refresh my memory, to make sure that I could remember things, certain documents were shown to me, emails, legal pleadings from the case, so that I could remember what was happening at that time.
Because it wasn't important enough for me to just remember on my own.
Or we lie about what we remember.
So that's the jury saying, how could you possibly not remember this?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Helen, yes. Okay, Pappy says Ripple mixed with champagne. Sanford and Son. Fred Sanford from Sanford and Son. He mixed his Ripple with champagne. That's hilarious. That's a thing. Just do the champagne. All right. Sorry, I'm catching up with the comments. Okay.
Yeah.
One of the jurors was a little confused with the timing. You had said you had a boyfriend and that it was not clear to them whether you said it was a month after your separation and filing for divorce or a month after it was finalized.
Sure. So I started dating someone who was a friend of mine for many years, and it didn't become romantic until after I had filed for divorce. So about a month after I filed for divorce, someone who was a friend in my life became more like a boyfriend than a friend.
Okay.
I want to be super.
Sure, Wendy.
Okay. I want to be super judgy of that because that is so soon. It's like stupid. But I have a friend who separated in June. And
Okay.
honestly, within a month, they were both in a relationship. But this has been their marriage they've been working on for the last year. They started going to therapy February a year ago. And then they just knew it was over, but they kept trying to make it work, you know? So when you know it's over, it's over. So I want to be judgy of that. Be like, what are you doing? But they knew the marriage was over. So, when they finally gave the papers and said, we need to move on, we're divorced, like it was instant for them to be able to move on. So I can kind of get it. She knew it was done. She might have been seeing, this was not somebody, for my friends, it was not somebody from their past life. It was people that they just met randomly after they separated.
Right. That is very different.
So this is, yes. So
Right.
this is different. It was a friend.
She had been carrying on with this friend.
Sure.
Which, having an emotional attachment or whatever, and then she switched it on when she was divorced. It just switched. We went from boyfriend to, or friend to friend, a boyfriend. Oh, okay, sure, Wendy.
Yeah.
But
that's
the other thing is that Jeff Lacasse felt like that guy was still in their relation, in her.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And he also suggested that he was in the relationship when Dan was still married to Wendy. So there's a lot more depth to this one.
Okay. Also, I really just want to take a brush to the back of her hair. Real bad.
Oh my God, that hair.
I know. Just brush the back, Wendy. I can still see it, girl.
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Somebody said in a different chat that she's trying to take, the Jew. That sounds so bad. And I don't know how to say it politically correct, but just get rid of the brown eyes, get rid of the curly hair. She doesn't want to show that she's Jewish.
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah, the blue eyes, especially
straighten the hair, the blue eyes.
It's not just straightened, it's highlighted, it's lighter than its natural color. Yeah.
She doesn't want to show who she really is.
Yeah. I'd love to have curly hair.
I know.
Okay.
What was wrong with the television that had to be repaired?
Smart question from the jury. What was
Very.
wrong with the television? I love that.
I think one of my kids might have thrown something at it, so there was a crack in the TV.
I think one of my kids might have thrown something at it. So there was a crack in the TV. I think, I don't know, might double layering up of the obfuscation and then thrown something at it. Again, this has always been one that I just zone in on. It's like, who broke that TV? Because that was part of it.
Okay, so here's the backstory, which I think I said in last year when we were doing this. 3 years ago, we went through 3 TVs in 1 month because we had a very old tube TV and the backlight went out on the first one, right? So I go to the store, I get a new TV, it's a smart TV, it's great. And my son is playing Xbox. Done. This is it. I remember exactly what he was doing, when it happened, how it happened. I can tell you all the details.
Right.
And this was 3 years ago. And I will remember this for the end of my life because I cannot believe we went through 3 TVs in a month. You know? So my son's playing Xbox and he's too close and he was getting excited with the controller and he tapped the TV and it cracked. So I had to go get a new TV. And then the next one, my kids are playing with these like PVC tube pipes, right? And they make swords out of them. And so then they're playing with it, you know, and they're flinging it around. And a top piece of the sword went and hit the TV while my mother-in-law was there. So then I had to go get another TV. Like, I know why and how my TV broke.
Right, right.
Yes. I can tell you exactly what happened and when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know any of these things, but I just thought this was really implausible, period.
Yeah.
Not having kids, not having TVs that have been broken. It's like, that's why I zoned in on it. It's like, this doesn't make any sense.
Right.
You don't know how I mean, even one was only 2. They were like 2 and 3. They were really young too.
Yeah.
But I mean, you would know because it would have been traumatic because there would have been glass and you'd need to protect them from the glass and the dog.
And it's expensive.
Well, yeah.
It's expensive.
And did you call your brother and your brother-in-law and your mom and your dad about your TV? Which one should I repair it or should I replace it? Should I repair it or yeah, exactly.
I called my husband sobbing because we had to spend $500. And that's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I did not call my brother or my sisters or my mom. I didn't call my mom.
Right. Like, it doesn't make sense.
It's bananas.
It's totally implausible. Okay.
Yes.
So, and Helen says it's because Dan had blue eyes, as far as her blue eyes and all that. Yeah. Dan had blue eyes and at least one boy had blue eyes. So she had to buy the eyes. The blue eye thing is just blows me away.
Same.
It's weird. And she said, I got drunk and kicked it and she's remembering. That's probably more like it. I don't think it was broken. I think if it was broken, it was broken on purpose because they were speaking in code. And why
have Mr. Markel's parents not been allowed to see the grandchildren?
Jury.
That's a great question.
Not been out. Yep. So they saw through her. And again, yep.
Well, they were allowed to see the grandchildren for 2 full years. And I used to cook meals for them and arrange play dates.
Blah, blah, blah.
Here we go.
That's not even true. That's not even
I'm the good person.
We had sleepovers.
I'm the victim.
And then I found out that that Ruth Markel had reached out to a foster care agency to try to place my children with that agency. And I became very worried that they were trying to take my children away from me. And so
this makes me so angry. It makes me so angry.
You do realize Ruth Markel is like 15 feet away from her at this moment. And she says this. And not only that.
It makes me so mad.
Why would she? it's almost a consciousness of guilt because she's so afraid they're going to take her children away. Why would they be afraid they're going to take her children away?
Right.
Why would they
We're
do
projecting.
That's what you might do. Yeah. This is so telling.
It's
after
like
that time.
it's like with the Lori Vallow case, you know, every time they brought up the whole Joe was a terrible father, even though that was investigated and there was never any proof of any of it, but they could continue to besmirch his name.
This is who?
With Lori Vallow and Joe.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You
yes.
remember how they kept on saying like
100%.
that there was abuse, but it was never.
No.
But they continue to bring it up. This is the same thing to me. Like it just infuriates me.
Yeah. They wrote the script. They got to stick to it.
I didn't feel a level of trust that they could spend time with the kids. I was afraid they were trying to take them from me.
Like these 80-year-olds are just going to kidnap your children during visitation. Yeah. Look at her face there. It's awful. Like she's looking at the jury there. I think she knows she's been caught here.
Yeah.
Okay. Follow up, Ms. Captain.
Your reference to the foster care agency, does that have to do with an email that was sent to me from your mother-in-law?
Yes, it does.
All right, Dan's mother.
Yes.
And that email was in reference to, in the event that you and your parents were arrested in association with this crime, could I please contact that particular agency to assist with the children in the event they have no guardian temporarily until they could get down here from where they reside in Canada. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so they were not trying to take your children unless there was an event where you were unable to care for them.
But because there's no event in which I would be unable to care for them, that feels like trying to take away my children.
Maybe it feels like they finally think you're going to get caught.
That is such a snippy, snotty little fucking answer. Excuse me.
It really is. She is just. Woof.
Oh,
that look.
Well, it feels like. And remember how I told you how I do not like it when people on the witness stand answer with, well, it feels like this and it feels like that when they're being asked about facts.
Yeah.
We're not asking you how you felt, you maniac. You delusional maniac. We're not asking you that.
She is so angry right now.
That
there's just. If she could breathe fire, she would be breathing fire right now.
Because she knows she's been caught in a lie, not because of what she's saying. It's not because she has conviction. Right. It's misplaced. Yeah, but let's not let that get twisted because
yeah. No, you're right.
This is performance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy says, now we know Dawn isn't elderly because elderly don't. Sorry. This one just gets to me. It gets to me. She gets to me. She gets to me. I won't deny it. Okay.
Yeah.
Garcia. Magbanua.
And this email about there being possible arrests of you and your family, that came right after Katherine Magbanua was arrested, right?
I don't remember exactly the timeline of that.
You would know.
Right. So the email. Okay. So she's talking about when the Markels were concerned that Wendi and her whole dang clan might get arrested was when Katie was arrested.
But I don't remember.
I don't remember those small details.
You can step down. Do we need to keep this witness any further?
Watch her run. Run. Look at her. Go. Get out of there.
Dude, she literally, and then they stop her.
This is like,
oh, fuck.
I love this part. Yes. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what just happened.
It was like, I'm not out of here. Yes.
Yeah.
That was funny. Okay, I don't know what I did here. How did I mess that one up? Okay. Gotta see that one again. Oh man, we got through it. We got through 2019.
My reporter has been there now for 80 minutes. The response that I got was
Wait a minute.
Need to be
What?
more camp
Wait.
if you need her to come back with
Oh, here we go.
About there being possible arrests of you and your family that came right after Katherine Magbanua was arrested, right?
I don't remember exactly the timeline of that.
She's still.
Right. You can step down. Do we need to keep this witness in?
She's like,
But he need her any further. Magbanua.
Get the heck out of there.
Hold on a second.
I just love that. Hold on a sec, Miss Adelson. Just hold on a sec, Miss Adelson. We're not done yet.
You remain under their subpoena. Right, you. You can communicate with her about any arrangements. If you need her to come back, but she's free to go at this point.
Run! Run!
yeah.
All right,
Run as fast as you can. You can't catch me on the gingerbread man.
I know, not what you want to hear, but it was a little legal lesson that one of the jurors raised.
Okay. Well, there we have it. We made it through.
We made it. Oh, Wendi. Oh, Wendi.
We'll see you in 2022 and maybe in 2023 soon.
Can you imagine?
At her brother's trial. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Hey, chat, do we think that Wendi will be called as a witness?
Yes. 1,000% yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Society page refers to the Adelsons as the Adelson crime family because down the rabbit hole says the Adelsons think they are mafia and they can buy anyone. They do operate in that way. They definitely do. That confidence that she's not going to be arrested galls so much of us, you know. Who has that?
Yeah.
I can't be confident I'm not going to be. Somebody could accuse me of something at any time. Like, we're living in America, right? Anything can happen. There are people.
God.
Right. It's kind of something to think about.
Yeah.
Anybody could get themselves caught up in something really fast without knowing it or having done anything wrong. Look at Jeff Lacoste. That, like, I always think about him. It's like he had no idea what he was getting into when he dated her.
Nope.
It's like murder trials and testimony and, contradicting what she testified to and, offering a completely different point of view. So Helen says, Charlie could go into federal prison with all his crimes and bunk with Luis. Luis will be gone in a couple of years, be like, hasta la vista, baby. Because Luis is going to get out pretty soon because he listened to his lawyer and he did the right thing. And his lawyer was good.
Yeah.
Commissary lobster. Don't think they're getting any lobster. The whole shebang.
Just some spam.
Oh, yuck. Now, well, thank you, Katie. Thank you, chat. I am so excited. So next week we're going to get to the 2022 testimony.
I'm excited to see how she looks.
Oh my gosh, it's so different. It's so different. And the society page says Jeff's the one I go back to on this, drawn into a web. Yeah. I've got lots of shorts with Jeff, lots of shorts, little nuggets with Wendi on my page. And then Luis, I've got some like mini videos, like couple minutes.
Did Sigfredo testify at
No.
his own trial? No.
I don't think so. No, I don't believe he did.
Okay.
I mean, I think they just thought they were going to get off. The thing about conspiracies is, I mean, I think the thinking is you have to take down everyone.
Yeah.
It's all or nothing, but it isn't that way.
Mm-mm.
They can chip away at them. And to me, it seems like they're working their way from the bottom to the top. And it makes sense that Charlie would be next.
Yep.
Donna, because of Charlie. Then it would be Wendi and Harvey.
Okay.
It could be Donna and Harvey and then Wendi, but they're working their way up the ladder, is what it says. Yeah.
Seeing if they can get somebody to flip.
The flipping, and just because what happens is each time there is another trial, there's more testimony.
Yeah.
There's more argument. You can refine from a prosecution standpoint. You can continue to refine case based on what the defense is putting at you. So I'm very interested in seeing what Rash Brown brings to the table for Charlie. Right. And, I believe in a good justice system, and I don't believe people should be prosecuted or found guilty, let alone convicted with inadequate evidence.
Right.
And so I don't go at this like I feel like I know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But unless the lawyers do their job and show it to the jury, because the jury probably doesn't know as much as we do because we're dissecting it all the time. So unless they do their job. Oh,
I'm still here.
Okay. Unless the lawyers do their job.
Disappeared.
Unless they do their job, man, he could walk free. So the work still has to be done. It's like you lay the foundation, you're starting to put up whatever, frame it, and then put drywall in, and but the work still has to be done. So
right.
And Helen says, charge me or bye-bye. I one thing I've learned from watching true crime, and I've never been involved in any, thing that I would need it, but you never know. What could happen, like if somebody was to falsely accuse you of something, is never talk to the police.
Never. Don't say a word.
Just get a lawyer.
Yep.
It's not worth it. You're not smarter than anybody. Georgia and Sarah know the case very well. Yep. Helen agrees with society. Pappy is LOL. And Debbie said, I wish I knew this was happening. Well, it's happening. We needed you earlier, Debbie. I was like, where's Debbie when I need her? Well, I don't know why, but make sure your notification bell is turned on and all that. So, okay, Katie needs to run. I need to run.
Sorry.
We'll be back in a week. No need to apologize.
Yes, we will see you next week.
For 2022, 3 years later, same time, same place. See you guys. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Bye.